the money monopolies had some interest in going in there and taking the Middle East. Right now, there are central banks, these phony fiat banks I'm talking about. There's central banks in every nation of the world except 4. Who are they? Iran, Burma, North Korea, and Syria. Well, North Korea is kowtowing under, and they are about to be assimilated. And you can just know there's going to be central banks, a central bank in North Korea shortly. Iraq, they have a central bank. It's in place right now. Our soldiers are protecting that fiat currency, private corporation right now. Burma, does it matter? I don't guess. But Syria and Iran. And so I can tell you that shortly we're going to take Iran economically, or we're going to take them militarily. Probably it's going to take a World War III to take Iran, but you can know for a certainty that's coming up. What did I leave out? Military, the education monopoly. Since John Dewey, before John Dewey, you couldn't teach evolution in our public schools. Now, you can't teach Christianity, creationism in our public schools. All you want to hear about is going green and global warming. Our educational system is a monopoly, and it is controlled from start to finish. So I think that's the 9 that I could think of. Well, I've painted a pretty dark picture. I've made some bold statements. I've said we don't have a chance. I've said our enemies are too strong for us. America, what should we do? Roll over and play dead? No, there's only one answer. There's only one answer. That answer lies in you, church, in you, Christian. I'm pointing my bony finger at you and me. The answer is in, the answer's always been with the church, but we've been asleep at the wheel. The answer is in, for the church, those who are called by the Lord, those who according to Malachi, I can't find it right now, who says, if my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and then will I heal their land. 2 Chronicles 7:14, I'm sorry. Only if the church repents. Church, you got the power. You've always had the power. Jesus gave us the power over this satanic Babylonian system. We've always had the power. Until we rise up, until we come together, church, until we come together and quit being made a fool out of. Did you know that right now, last I heard, there were approximately 1,200 denominations, not churches, denominations of churches in this country alone. I'd say we're pretty divided, wouldn't you? And we split off from one denomination to the other because they want to sprinkle and not dunk in baptism or some silly thing like that. It's time for us to raise one hand to God and raise the other hand to God and do this. Wake up. It's time for the Church of Jesus Christ to wake up. Come together and do like God prescribed in 2 Corinthians 7:14. He showed us this all the way through the Old Testament in Numbers and Deuteronomy. You go back and you read some of those books, Samuel, and you'll see where Israel came to the Lord. Things were great. Things were prosperous and good, and then they would backslide. and then they would cry out to the Lord, and then they would forget about the Lord, and then they would cry out to the Lord and forget about the Lord. It's just a yoke. It's up and down. It gets monotonous. But God has shown us in the Old Testament that if we, the church, if my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways and ask me to forgive them, he said, then will I hear from heaven, and then will I heal their land. So that's what this preacher is saying on this video today, is that all these other methods are not working. They haven't worked. They're not going to work. Our enemies are too strong for us. There is only one answer. It is spiritual. It's always been spiritual. But it's for the church of Jesus Christ to rise up and take its authority in this country and take it back. God said, he said, I've proven it 100 times in the Old Testament. I'll do it again. Right now, okay, who are all these power elite? And then I'm going to turn this video off. Who are all these dudes that's been doing all this? Who are all these guys with all this money and all these monopolies? There are many factions. There are many groups in the world. But basically, if you want to know, if you want to start with these, there are 3 organizations that you can go to and start getting a handle on who are these people. Find out who they are, and then and lift them up to the Lord, and ask the Lord to stop them. Ask the Lord to rain hell fire down upon these devils that are controlling these men, and pray for these men and their families. But get the devils out of here. Get Satan out of the picture. Who are they? Well, if you could draw 3 circles, the outer circle would be the Council on Foreign Relations. All of our appointed, Obama is appointing all of these Council on Foreign Relations conspirators to his office. Council on Foreign Relations, it's a big group, and a smaller group within there are called the Bilderbergers. It's a big group, and then there's a smaller group of more influential people called the Bilderberger group. I won't talk about any of this. And then inside the bullseye, so to speak, is the Trilateral Commission. And within this Trilateral Commission, there's a group of 30, there's a group of 20, and there's groups all over the world. But if you'll study these groups, they're all moving in concert. Some of them don't know the other group. Some of them don't even like the other group. But they're all moving toward this new world Babylonian system. Who are they? Well, start with the Bohemian Grove. How about the family in Washington? The presidential prayer breakfast? You think that's so peachy keen? How about the Rosicrucians, the Masons, all the Luciferian satanic societies? And then there are the nobility. See, well, if they have their way, what they want to happen here shortly is that we're going to move into a feudalistic Fabian society. Now all that means is that the corporations, these major corporations I've been describing, they're going to get in bed with the countries, the political. The corporate and the political are going to work in concert together. That's called Fabianism. And that's where we're headed until we wind up to where this world is divided up into 10 different regions, and this nobility, royalty, if you will, controls them. And then you and me will be just like the trees, and the cows will just be part of the earth, the property. And they will run and control us from birth to death. Who are these guys? Well, I've mentioned just a few here. They're called the Black nobility. I don't know where they got that word black. It don't have any.